joking, half serious, that out here, everyone is competing for scraps. George, on the other hand, remains hopeful. He believes in starting fresh and working hard to rebuild his life.
I deliver a hard day's work for my money. I just want the chance. It'll come.
Later that evening, George walks around the camp and sees a group of residents watching TV. A flashy commercial about fake nails has them glued until the signal cuts out. Suddenly, the screen shows a nervous man delivering an unusual warning. He claims their world is an illusion, crafted by unknown beings who transmit signals that dull people's minds and keep them obedient.
State of consciousness that resembles sleep.
According to him, a few scientists discovered the truth. These signals strip away independent thought, keeping the poor poorer while injustice spreads. But the audience isn't interested. They quickly change the channel. As this happens, George notices a blind preacher standing nearby, echoing every word from the strange broadcast.
They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others.
Moments later, Gilbert rushes over and pulls the man aside. George watches them from a distance. He can't hear the conversation, but something about it seems tense. Gilbert leads the preacher quickly back toward the nearby church. George keeps his eyes on them as they go, sensing there's more going on than anyone is saying. The next morning, George sees Gilbert at the entrance of the camp and casually brings up the church visit. Gilbert brushes it off, saying the church helps feed the homeless and that he was just setting things up for the day.
Hey, we're taking care of a lot of people here.
So if you guys are keen on
setting things up for the day.
Hey, we're taking care of a lot of people here.
Back inside the camp, the same unusual broadcast interrupts the television again. The man urges viewers to stop the mind control signals. Like before, the signal causes painful headaches, and the crowd is relieved when the screen switches back to sports. Gilbert quickly heads toward the church again, and this time, George decides to quietly follow. He enters the building and hears choir music playing. Nothing suspicious at first, but as he looks around, he discovers a hidden corner of the church where things don't add up. Behind the music, there's a small lab set up with chemicals and strange equipment. On one wall, someone has written, "They live, we sleep." He spots a tape recorder blaring the choir music to mask the real purpose of the gathering. Behind a wall, a hidden group, including Gilbert and the man from the television, is meeting in secret. They're working on hacking the broadcast system again, hoping to keep their message on the air long enough to wake people up.
Manufacturing Hoffman lenses till we're blue in the face?
Inside the church, the secret group discusses plans to expand their reach. They believe that spreading their message to more people is the only way to wake society up. While listening from a distance, George accidentally backs into a hidden door, uncovering a vault filled with boxes. Though curious, he decides it's not the right time to investigate and quietly shuts it. Just as he gets up to leave, he stumbles upon the blind preacher. George tries to explain that he was not doing anything wrong.
Just wanted to close it, didn't want no one breaking in. Neighborhood watch.
The preacher touches George's face and hands, seemingly recognizing him. He quickly begins speaking about a coming uprising and insists George has a part to play. Unsettled by the sudden intensity, George pulls away and bolts from the church. The preacher shouts after him, convinced he'll return one day.
This world may have blinded me, but the Lord has let me see.
Not long after, a helicopter hovers above the church, causing the group inside to grow uneasy. Once it flies off, George borrows a pair of binoculars from a neighborhood kid and keeps watch. He sees Gilbert and a few others carrying boxes from the building and loading them into a car. Before he can piece it together, Frank approaches. George tries to explain what he witnessed in the church. He reveals that there is no choir there and they just open a music tape. But Frank wants no part of it. He is scared of losing his job, and he warns George of the same thing happening to him. He then tells George not to dig into something that might get them both in trouble.
I'm walking a white line all the time. I don't bother nobody. Nobody bothers me.
That evening, the camp is quiet until sirens wail and floodlights pierce the darkness. Police vehicles surround the area, followed by bulldozers. Without warning, officers begin tearing down tents and shelters, sending the residents running in every direction. George watches in horror as the peaceful camp is reduced to rubble. The people panic and start running, and here is when officers with bulletproof glass start lunging at them. They push and hit the people who are attempting to escape their wrath. George runs away from the area to escape this. The officers show no restraint. They beat the preacher and the man from the strange broadcasts, ignoring their pleas.
My God, help me! Help me, Jesus!
Both men are left lifeless, and anyone who stays behind meets a similar fate. George manages to rescue a terrified teenager hiding nearby, leading him to safety. As they run, officers came in front of them and they ran to escape. Together, they climbed to the upper level of the ruined church and searched for shelter.
Come on in and join the party, man.
Eventually, they discover a hidden room where a handful of survivors are quietly waiting out the chaos. None of them understand why they were attacked. They spend the night in silence, trying to come to terms with the violence they've seen. When daylight comes, they step outside to assess the damage. The camp has been completely flattened, yet somehow a TV still sits in the open, playing absurd commercials as if nothing happened. George doesn't waste time. He sneaks back into the church to check the vault he found earlier. The slogan on the wall, "They live, we sleep," has been hastily painted over during the raid. Inside the pantry, he finds one box left behind, the same kind the group had been moving the day before. Just then, a police cruiser rolls past the building. George ducks down, staying out of sight, knowing he's only just beginning to uncover the truth. He then takes the box and gets out of the place. After finding a quiet place to hide, George opens the box he recovered from the church vault. To his disappointment, it's filled with nothing but sunglasses. Confused but curious, he stashes the box in a trash bin for later and takes one pair with him. As he walks through the city, he puts the glasses on, and everything changes. The world loses its color, shifting to stark black and white. What once seemed normal now appears strange and unsettling. Through the lenses, ads and signs reveal hidden commands. Obey, consume, marry and reproduce, watch TV, and others. Magazine covers and billboards lose their glossy appeal and instead display blunt orders. Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court or pay expensive. George picks up a magazine and reads the same colorless commands through the glass. But when he takes the glass out, it is a colorful, engaging magazine. Even more disturbing, some people no longer look human. Their faces morph into grotesque, skull-like creatures.
Thank you.
George keeps removing and putting the glasses back on to be sure it isn't just his imagination. The man standing near him looks like a monster through the glasses, but behaves normally otherwise, simply staring back. He continues exploring and notices a message printed on money. "This is your God." At traffic lights, he sees hidden transmitters pumping out subliminal signals that repeat one word: sleep. George starts to understand that only some people are affected. Many humans seem completely unaware, casually interacting with these disguised aliens, who clearly hold the most power in society.
She didn't even go to Lamaze class. I told her, for your son.
Inside a supermarket, George sees a politician giving a speech on TV. The man's real alien face is visible through the glasses, just like the others.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh, vital. The old cynicism.
George, overwhelmed by the absurdity of it all, but his reaction draws attention. He offends a woman who is also an alien in disguise and accuses her of not being what she appears. He announces to everyone that she is different when he puts the glasses on. The woman then realizes that George can actually see her. The people around him are confused, and George's cover is blown. The woman alerts her kind through a communicator hidden in her watch, describing George to the others.
He's a tall, Caucasian male. Doesn't appear armed.
Now targeted, George runs from the store in panic. As he rushes through the streets, he realizes that many of the creatures are watching him, but it's only when he lashes out at one of them that things escalate.
That's like pouring perfume on a pig.
Two fake police officers, who are also aliens, apprehend him and demand to know where he got the glasses. George refuses to talk. They try to recruit him, saying he can live well if he cooperates, but he refuses. In the struggle, George manages to overpower them, steal their weapons, and take them out. More police arrive quickly, and George flees again, this time into a nearby bank. Inside, he sees that many of the customers are aliens too. Acting fast, he opens fire on the disguised creatures. One of them sends out a distress call and vanishes into thin air before George can stop him.
Wearing sunglasses.
On the run once more, George spots a drone chasing him. He takes it down, then runs out. While running, he encounters a police officer, but he points his shotgun at him, making him run. He then ducks into a nearby parking garage, hoping to find cover. There, he runs into a woman named Holly. After confirming she's human, he forces her to drive him to her home.
drive.
Holly drives him home. After parking the car, the two of them walk into her apartment. Two of her neighbors look at them as they walk into the house.
Hi, Holly.
At Holly's home, George collapses from exhaustion. As he sits on the ground, pulling her next to him, the adrenaline is wearing off.
Woo! It's like a drug.
He tries to explain everything, that he didn't mean to frighten her, that the world is being manipulated by dangerous beings hiding in plain sight. But Holly, still shaken, made it clear the only reason she obliged is because he has a gun, and she will continue to do so as long as he is holding the gun. He urges her to try on the special glasses so she can see what he sees. But Holly doesn't believe him. She refuses and keeps her distance.